Hello and welcome to the Stitch on Sunday Blanket Week 3. This is a re-recording because the original recording, it's a little bit too far away from the camera and a lot of people can't see what I'm actually doing. So I'm quickly coming on to re-record it, so it may not be as extensive as I normally go into detail. But you've got all the details below of what you need to do to cast on. And this one is my attached one because I've got my separate one. It's the right way up this time as well, look. So this is my one that I'll be sewing together. I need to do a sewing up tutorial. And then this is my one as I'm attaching as I go. So just to be aware, just before I get going, I've got my littlest son in the other room just watching a film, so I might get disturbed, so the video might end up being a bit choppy, but I'm just trying to grab a minute while he's engrossed in a film and eating some dinner. So let's start with, we've done row one is a purl row, so I've already done that row just to get us set into place. So row 2 is, we've got a knit 1 and then we knit 4. Sorry if you can hear the TV, there's not much I can do at the minute. So we knit 2 together and then we slip knit and then we knit 4 again. So hopefully you can see this a bit clearer. I've got the camera as close to as I can get now. Knit 2 together, slip knit, knit 4, knit 2 together, slip knit, knit 4. Okay, so we're going to do this to the last 5 stitches. So we knit those, turn the work and we purl back. Now I am connecting as I go, and I've been joining as I go, and I've been purling 2 together rather than knitting 2 together at the end, just because of the first row being a purl row. So if you are joining as you go, that's what I've been doing, but it doesn't matter either way as long as you're just connecting those 2 stitches at the end. So we'll purl back. Yeah. Row 3 is our the ones with the long stitches, the knit 1 long. So we knit our edge stitch and then we're going to knit 4. Now to do our knit 1 long, so hopefully you can see this clearly now. We skip this one because we're going in between, we've got a knit 2 together there and a slip knit there. So we miss this first one because we need to be in between them. And then we want to just push our finger from the other side and see, you need the second loop down. So you can see those 2 loops there. So you've got, that's your last purl row. And then this one here is the one that we want. If we pull it apart, you can see each loop. Can you see that clearly? Hang on, if I put my hand that way. You can see each row in between the stitches. So we want the second one. Oh dear. We want the second one down. So skip the stitch, second one down. In there, that's where we're going, down into there. We're going to go through, bring the yarn around and pull it back through, and then we knit 2, and then on this one we need to bring the needle around, and where this elongated stitch is, we want to go back into that hole that it's created with your 2 rows down. So we're going to hold those in place, bring your needle around and go through that hole, and then bring your loop through. So they're both coming out of the exact same loop, and you create a little eyelet there without doing the yarn over. So we'll do that again in a sec. So we knit 4. Okay. And then into this part here. So we pull them apart, slip, knit, miss that stitch, pull them apart and have a good look for your second strand and go underneath it there. Can you see that well enough now? So if I do that and you've got the white behind, I'm just so concerned you can't see and you get stuck. So second one down, we go underneath that one. Push the needle through, yarn around and bring it back out between those 2. Okay, knit 2. And then for the second one, we look for where your elongated stitch is, look for the hole that it's created, hold your stitches in place, bring your needle through and go through that hole and come out the other side, and then bring it back through, and there you've got your 2 elongated stitches coming out of the little eyelet that you've created. Okay, I hope that makes sense now. So we're going to do that to the end. Oops. So what I found the easiest way, the first one is quite simple once you know exactly where you're going in, but the second one can be a little bit tricky. But what I found is obviously you've got to hold those in place, push that needle through, but then pull this part of the fabric back over the needle, and that will help as well. Just give it a tug, it's always going to bounce back into place, you'll be fine. Okay, so the last one. And then we're going to purl back the opposite way. Okay, so the next section I'm going to show you with the crochet hook. So we knit 1 and then we immediately knit 2 together and slip, slip, knit. This is row 6 and knit 4. Knit 2 together, slip, slip, knit, knit 4. So at the end of these rows you'll have 34 stitches, 35 if you join in as you go. Right, and at the end you will knit 2 together, slip, slip, knit, and then knit 1. And purl back. Okay, so the first one with a crochet hook I found really tricky because you've only got the one stitch on the needle. We can hold it behind somehow. Okay, so again, we're looking for the second row down. We miss this stitch and we want in between these two. You knit two together and you slip, slip, knit. So we're going in between. We want two down. So just give it a little pull to open it up. Two down and poke your crochet hook through there. All right, hang on. This is what I find really fiddly. Wrap the yarn around your crochet hook and bring it through. And then that needs to go onto your right hand needle. This is not a method for me, so it's gonna look like I'm fiddling and it's just not for me, but I'm showing you how to do it because it could be for you. And someone else had commented and said that they'd done it with doing that first one that I've just done with the needle, but this second one with the crochet hook, and they found that method better. So just find what's best for you. So we knit two and then we go back through this hole that we've just created with the elongated stitch. Okay, so you should be able to see that. Go through there. It is easier this way. It's just I find crochet hooks fiddly. Bring that through and just pop that onto the right hand needle and then knit four. Okay, so again we slip the one, slip that stitch, not slip it, but just pass that stitch. We don't want that at the minute. We're going under here, so we want one there, and then we need to find that second one down. I'm sorry if you can hear the TV still. Pop that in there, anything to keep them entertained at the minute. Bring that through and pop that stitch on your right hand needle. Knit two. Oops, that one's all split, hang on. There we go. Knit two and then back through that gap. So it should give you a gap that you can see a lot better on the second one. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook, bring it through and pop it back onto the right hand needle and knit four. So I hope that's helped, because obviously that first one was not helpful and I am sorry. It's a bit hard to tell whether it's helpful or not when you already know the answer, so I know exactly what I'm doing. So it's a bit hard to tell if you don't know what you're doing, if it makes sense, if you know what I mean. When it automatically makes sense. Get round. When it automatically makes sense to me because I know what I'm doing. So then looking at it, I know what I'm doing. Oh, but keep telling me, why won't you come through? There we go. Keep telling me if they're not clear enough, and I will do my very, very best to make it more clear for you, because I really want you to be able to do this with me, and I'm here to help. That's the whole point. So I'm not going to finish the rest. I'm going to stop there because obviously the TV's in the background and everything else. But that is your week 3. Now, so one thing I wanted to add about this particular one is it may not be as long as your other squares that you've already done, because it does tend to pull itself back in. It should block out, but if you are concerned that it's just a little bit smaller than the rest of the squares, cast on an extra 8 stitches. So it's a multiple of 8. So just keep casting on 8. And what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to give you the cast on that I do, but then I'm going to tell you the multiples so that you can add on extra or take some away, because obviously, but yeah, just make sure you're making your squares pretty much the same size each time and you'll be good. So there we go, week 3.